Hi there.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Flying Frog video. Well, here's a new era for Xbox. We have a glider. Now this one's brought to us from Got Friends, the Discus 2. I've been waiting for gliders to come now for quite a while, and even though we don't have full support yet for gliders within the sim, it is coming. And I think Got Friends have just gone and got in first with a few gliders. Now I know PC have had gliders for a little while, but this is our first one on Xbox. So what we're going to do is have a look. Now I'm not going to make this video too long at all because glider flying can take hours. So we're just going to get in, have a look at the aircraft itself, just have a look at the modelling, the texturing, like I usually do. Then I'll show you a few of the presets that you can do, and then just a little quick flight and a land, and that'll be it. I won't be doing any handling tests, no stall tests, nothing like that. Glider flying is an art, and is an art that is well learned. It is not going to be for everyone, but for those who do like it, they will thoroughly enjoy it. And if you take the time to learn glider flying properly, it is a very rewarding sport. Now this particular model here, the Discus 2C, is not the motor variant. There is another variant which obviously has the motor, and we get 10 colour schemes between in both of the variants, and they're exactly the same. This one we're looking at is the rainbow. So what we do is I'll just get on back to the back tail here, since that's got most of the decals on it, and just have a quick look, and there you go. That's fairly sharp. So, which, you know, coming from Got Friends, I would expect really not much different. And the modelling looks fantastic. I'm not a total expert on gliders themselves and how they're supposed to look. I flew in a glider when I was a young lad many years ago out at Air Force Base Pierce, and I don't know why we're getting stutters. What the hell? Anyway, I just don't know why there's stutters. There's no reason for it. But yeah, and there's a town out in the wheat belt called Narrogin, which they do a lot of glider flying out there in the state of Western Australia where I live. So there we go. There's not much to it, but what I'll do is I'll hop into the cockpit and I'll go through the presets and we'll go from there. Okay, here we are. So let's just pull this down. So that goes down, locks in. Fantastic. There we go. We're locked in now at the moment. So now let's just get this one out of the way because we have our battery here. Now on the other variant, the motored variant, we've got the motor switch, which is here in the center. So let's just turn it. Now it's a bit hard to reach the battery. Okay, it was already on because it had turned itself on when I lifted it. Right, now there's not much to go by. We've got the pitot heat if we're going to get high enough. We've got lighting if it's dark enough, and pretty well nav lights as well. Okay, now so what we do is part of this whole package. You do get well, as you saw in the beginning where I put in the description, there are a few exemptions for Xbox due to the WASM issue, and it is very nice that Got Friends has spelt out what those issues are, and I'm sure once we get SIM update 10 that things will be rectified and we'll get updates. So like the towing behind an aircraft, so you can have one of your mates tow you around to get you up to height and what have you, or you just have AI do it. But unfortunately here on Xbox we don't have that. All we've got at the moment is a winch launch. However, winch launch, you can still gain enough height for a decent flight. So there's not a problem there. So it does work well. And also, as part of the package, we do get the Got Friends Glider Club in Switzerland. So you get a little handmade airport out there, which is for the gliders, which I highly recommend anybody who's into gliders to go fly in Switzerland, Austria. Fantastic. It looks really, really nice. So now let's get on to this one. So we come up onto the weather. Now we go into our presets, scroll on down, and we've got Soaring Summer, Soaring Winter, Soaring Ridge, and Soaring Cross Country. Now Soaring Ridge is where you use in your mountainous areas and where the wind will come up one side and gives you lift up the top of the ridge. However, when you're flying, if you get too far over, the wind actually rolls over and it can actually force your glider down and you end up in the dirt. So that's one to be mindful of if you ever try it. But we're going to do the cross country for now. Now I won't, like I said, I won't be spending too much time at all. Probably I should have just done a winch launch, come around and land, but anyway, we'll go from there. Right, now what we'll do is click on here and we shall connect. Alright, now we're going to get a, the whole idea is try and keep it launched and then release, but we will get an automatic release if we get our ascent is too steep, right? And if we're too shallow, we just won't get the height. Now you can change your speeds that you want to launch at. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go and change that to there, and we'll just click launch. Okay, and we'll get going. Now that's the Vario, so that tells you how much you're climbing, and that'll make a low dull noise when you're actually sinking. So while it's making the beep 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 beep, so what I'll do is there we go, we've got automatic release anyway. So I'll just trim her up a little bit. And there we go. Now we're still climbing, we can hear the Vario, and we've got the gauge here is telling us that we are climbing. So we're climbing at a reasonable rate at the moment, so which is quite good. So, and the whole idea is try and stay in your lift and keep going as high as you would like and travel as far as you'd like, of course. So what I'll do is I'll just step on outside so we can have a look. Fairly peaceful. Gliders can get along at a reasonable clip. Oh yeah, better put my gear up. There we go, gear up. And there we go. I'm hands off at the moment. So gliding has been around for a very long time. It is very popular in Germany, Austria. The Germans actually have made some absolutely wonderful gliders over the years. I've been into gliding and gliders as a kid. I had a first as an uncontrolled glider, and then I've done radio controlled gliders as well. And the principle is all the same. You know, you just try and find the lift and stay in the lift as long as possible, and it's good fun. It's not going to be for everyone, but the there we go. Let's go around it now. We're getting a bit of downdraft there. As you can hear, the Vario now is starting to make that droning noise. There we go. Back into the lift again. There we go. And it's lifting on the edge of the cloud here. So, and I feel as though that got friends have added this, have done really well, so we can get a little bit of glider flying experience and the taste before it actually is introduced into the sim. So our views outside, look at that, you can see for miles. And for those guys who've got VR, I think this would be absolutely stunning. Those ones, I know we don't have VR on Xbox, which is a shame. But for the PC guys who've got VR or got head trackers, I think would be absolutely fantastic. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we do get some type of head tracking on Xbox, because I think that would be just the duck's nuts. So what I'll do now is I'll go around and line up for a landing. Like I said, I'm not going to make this one too long because this is just going to get too boring as viewing, but you can get the point. There's not much to the aircraft itself. This one, there we go, we actually got out of the lift there. So it is an art to stay into the lift and recognising how the air patterns go, particularly watching the clouds if it's all been modelled correctly. Right, now how we do it, we've also got air brakes, which slows us right down, and then we can drop our landing gear as well. So what I'll do is, when I feel as though I'm able to land without overshoot or undershoot, I'll come back to you and we will continue on. Okay, I'll see if I can get it down on the runway. I am fairly high at the moment, but another important instrument that for gliding is that little piece of string that you see there waving out the front on the cockpit. That is really important to a glider pilot, because that shows you, number one, which direction you're travelling, number two, where the wind is travelling, and number three is where the lift is. So basically, if that stops flapping around, you're in trouble. So for anybody who is wondering what the string is for. Now we get some beautiful noises. I'm trying to let's just get some height down, but I just need the speed so I can make it onto the runway. Now this one is going to be a fairly quick landing, but let's just see if I can wash off some speed. Yeah, actually it's not too bad. We've still got the air brakes out, which is fine. There we go, look at that. As we come in, just a little bit pull back. Again, I'm always offline. What is it with me? There we go. There we got no brakes, but we try. Oh well. There we go. Drag the wing, damage the glider, but I'm down. Didn't break up. We've got some do's and don'ts. Not that one. That one there. Come on, out you come. There we go. So we have the do's and don'ts. So we got here, you know, spawn on the runway, set up weather, or use the preset, select ballast levels on pre-flight. You know, don't spawn on the apron, don't glide in heavy storms because, yeah, it won't be very pleasant, and don't land with water in the ballast tank, which I did. So, but there we go. And we've got our ballast. Right, let's get rid of that. So we got our landing gear, the air vent adjustment. We have oxygen, which is back here somewhere. Right there. So we've got oxygen here. If we need it. It's supposed to be interactive, maybe not on Xbox. Never mind. So we come through and we have our speed brakes, pitch trim, makes it all fairly simple. Park brake. What else? And to be honest with you, the texturing of the modelling looks really nice. I think that Got Friends have done a fantastic job. So there you have it. That's glider flying in a nutshell. I tried to make it as information as possible. I'm not an expert glider flyer at all. I just love it. I love the whole idea of it. Again, it's not going to be for everyone, and I understand that. $22.45 on the Microsoft Flight Simulator Marketplace by Got Friends. Honestly, I can't even think how much American that would be. It's probably around about, I don't know, $12, $15 American. To same for the euro. So, you know, for me, it is well worth it. I don't regret getting this one at all because I love glider flying, and you know, it's up to people. If you know you're into your gliders, then by all means go out and get it. I know that PC guys, you've got some free ones and you're going, oh, why would I buy it? Well, you're there to also to help support the you know, the developers of these aircraft. But on that note, join in on my Discord. The description will be the link will be in the description below, and we can talk about this one. We can talk about others. We can just talk about life in general, or not talk. It's entirely up to you. But everyone, please stay safe.